Hi, Taurus Sun and Rising. Welcome to your May 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here, and some of you may have listened to my forecast in April. I'm recording this on the 6th of April, so certainly April is not one for the books yet when I'm recording this. And that reading, I was talking about how amazing the month of April can be for Taurus Sun and Rising people. Well, May is going to be awesome too. And the reason I say that is because you're going to have Gemini transits. And one of them, the sun is going to go into Gemini, but also Venus is going into Gemini and Jupiter is going into Gemini. And Gemini for Taurus is the second house of income and your possessions. It's also your self-esteem. So when you have the two benefic planets, Jupiter and Venus, going into this area that can be can provide a boost, not only a financial boost, but a self-esteem boost, that's really great, And the other thing that makes it even that much more awesome is that this is your house in astrology. The second house belongs to Taurus. So when somebody who's a Taurus, and even like Taurus rising, you could say, but especially I would say your sun sign, because you really identify with the sun sign, it's like this is its specialty. So you have these planets going into this area that are connected to money, and that's the house of money, and that's the area that you really align with. So it's going to be great all the way around. I'm going to bring up the transit of Mars into Aries on April 30th because it's at the very end of April. So when Mars goes into Aries, it's going into the hidden part of the chart, the 12th house, and this is a time to really look at working on self-destructive things in your life, habits that are not the best, and to try to be very active in maybe eliminating them, or even like if it's something good like spiritual practices, because the 12th house is a spiritual area and Mars is very physical. So I think it'd be a great time for hatha yoga. Certainly there can be a lot of excess energy with nowhere to go. Walking meditation, I was just thinking about that recently. I was thinking, we don't have to just sit still when we meditate. You can take a walk and really empty your mind. Not a walk where you're listening on headphones or anything, but just emptying your mind and being able to have that physical movement as well. You may be doing some kind of project behind the scenes that you're not ready to share with other people, so that could be happening as well. On the 2nd of May, Pluto goes retrograde at 2 degrees of Aquarius. So this is, I was going to say ostensibly in your 10th house of career, but I'm going to bring this up because it's very important. I have my rising sign at 26 degrees of Taurus. This is falling in my natal 9th house. Very close to the midheaven though. My midheaven is, I think, 3 or 4 degrees of Aquarius. So some of you may be like me and it's going to be in your 9th house. But I'm going to just talk about the 10th house because I'm doing these as general readings. And the 10th house is about the area of your career, your reputation, and your status. It kind of goes along with that. Now, when Pluto goes retrograde, this is the time, whether you actively choose this assignment or not, where you may have to kind of review these kinds of themes for some reason. One reason could be if you are a very ambitious person, that you have to say, why am I an ambitious person? Like, what, can I uncover something within myself that compels me to do these things that aren't necessarily in my highest good? Maybe I'm trying to be successful in a worldly sense over what is truly my passion. And I'm not happy even though I'm successful. Because if you think about it, there are people out there who are successful, but they are not happy. And we're being sold this lie that obviously if you're successful, you're automatically going to be happy. That's just how it works. No. So that can be a time when your outer need for power, and that might have even been kind of like a crisis thing as Pluto went into the 10th house, where you were like trying to wrestle power from someone and realized, whoa, this isn't about, this is saying more about me than it is about somebody else, and realizing your part in all of that, which is good. It's good to realize what you're doing and why you're doing it. On the 7th, there is a new moon at 18 degrees of Taurus, and that's going to be in your first house of the self. Again, somebody like me who has 26 degrees, it's in my 12th house. But the interesting thing is whether this new moon is in your 12th or your first, it's very similar in the sense that it's about a new cycle being born. The people that have it in the 12th, they have more time to prepare to step into their new cycle. But what is it that you want to bring into your manifest reality in 2024 going into 2025? Maybe there's something really big that you want to birth. And this is the time to really dream about it. Also, I want to make it known that Pluto is an outer planet, so it does become more personal in the house that it's in. But in terms of the planets, they are all direct. Mercury has, come out of its shadow period. So it, by the time, I think by the time of the new moon, so it's not going to have this negative effect anymore. If it did to begin with, not everybody experiences the same things during in Mercury retrograde. Some are more mellow than anything else. It'll probably be around the 13th of May that Mercury comes out of its shadow, but I don't really personally honor that or pay attention to that too much, because you would be doing virtually nothing for most of the year if you did. There's so much, there's so many Mercury retrogrades, 4 or 5 in 1 year, and shadow periods. So we have to, be careful about taking things too far. But definitely by the 15th, Mercury is going into Taurus, and we know for sure that'll be out of the shadow of Aries. And so Mercury goes into your first house, and you're aligned with yourself and who you are, and are able to market yourself, promote yourself in the most consistent way possible. On the 20th, the sun goes into that second house in Gemini. And then on the 23rd, we have 2 things happening. We have a full moon at 2 degrees 55 minutes, basically 3 minutes of Sag. And we have Venus going into Gemini, and that will be in that second house. where Venus rules in astrology, and the full moon in Sag will be in the opposite house, which is the 8th house, and that is a house of other people's money. So there could be some gain through that, or awareness of a potential gain. There might be a situation that has to do with a revelation about something within yourself, how you are, how you tend to, feel underneath the surface, because this is the shadow side of life. If it falls in your 7th house, as it does for me, this can be related to relationships. You may have insight on your partner, on what their needs are, which can be very good for helping them for some reason. Some people may form a commitment, while other people may realize that they, don't need to be with a certain person. And this is the commitment sector, so it's not just somebody that you're dating, but it could be somebody that you're dating, you're not committed yet, but you might say to yourself, I don't think that, I'm going to do this, because you realize that committing to this person might not be such a hot idea. Okay, that's and then Venus goes into Gemini in that 2nd house that she rules. That can be very good for money. And on the 25th, Jupiter goes into Gemini. So Jupiter goes into that 2nd house. It's important to note, for those of you, some of you may have Jupiter in Gemini, and so this would be your Jupiter return. So that would be very good for that. I'm going to do a separate video on Jupiter and Gemini to go into more detail for all of the different houses. The Cliff Notes version for you, Taurus, is that this could increase your finances quite a bit in the next 12 months, whenever, that's the cycle of Jupiter, 12 or 13 months. So that's pretty good, huh? That's very good, especially for Taurus. Okay, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a private reading, this is a great time for a deep dive reading, which is an hour of chart analysis and an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months. Since you're about to have your solar return, this might be a great time to look at the astrological themes for the upcoming 12 months, but also to look at your natal chart, because honestly, I feel like the natal chart is the most important thing, because transits come and go, and truth be told, you can have the best transits in the world, but if you are stuck with certain patterns, and maybe like these patterns are unconscious, you're just living life and you don't realize that you're just doing these things that you don't have to do. And knowledge is power. That's, to me, even more important than predictive astrology. So you can find out more information. That's called a deep dive reading, and it's a package deal because you're buying both readings that I sell separately as a deep dive, and you save money that way. And I send it as one file. So you can find out more information about that and my other offerings at the link below. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye.